Greetings and good morning. It is Mahoosuc Notch day. It's about 6 o'clock and I'm getting ready to hit the hardest mile on the Appalachian Trail. So I really have no idea how long this will take. I don't really have a goal today. I don't know how long it'll take me to get through. Some people can get through in an hour and a half, and some people it takes 2 or 3 hours. I suspect I'm on the 2 or 3 hour side. And then it's just an incredible climb up Mahoosuc Arm. So I have no idea when I'll get to the top of Old Spec Mountain. I don't know if this is an all-day event or just a morning thing, so I don't really have a goal. So let's go see what the Mahoosuc Notch is all about. I put my poles up. I don't think there's any point in carrying poles through the Mahoosuc Notch. I really just don't know what to expect, other than everybody talks about don't worry about speed, just worry about having fun. So I will try to do that. You know, it's the real steep parts that I don't enjoy. So maybe this will be fun. I hope so. I've got 2 bottles of water to get through, and there's supposedly a really good water source on the other side. So I'll camel up there before I start the climb up Mahoosuc Arm. It's super steep, maybe the steepest section of trail on the Appalachian Trail. So the 2 sections combine to make a really tough morning. So I'm trying to follow white blazes. So you can see there's one right there. And then I can see way up there another one. So I'm just trying to make my way through these rocks, keeping an eye on those white blazes. And also I'm trying to look where other people are stepping to give me an idea where to go. It is rocky, no doubt. I really wish I could do more video in here. I mean, I just can't. I need all 4 limbs and a butt. But this is pretty cool. Nomad mentioned on a Facebook post a day or so ago about the ninja stretches. I tell you what, I know what he means. And my legs are not that long. Okay, I made it. I made it through Mahoosuc Notch. Took me an hour and 55 minutes, but I made it. So now I'm going to rest a little bit and tackle this brutal climb. It's about 1,700 feet and one and a half miles. I've read that it's the steepest section on the trail. So you're rewarded by making it through the Mahoosuc Notch, the hardest mile on the trail, with the steepest mile on the trail. These miles aren't going to hike themselves, so let's get on it. I've made it to the top of Mahoosuc Arm. That was a steep climb, no doubt. Now that's where I'm going, Old Spec over there. I suspect that's part of the trail you can see on the ridge up to the top of the mountain. Supposedly there's a bunch of scary cliffs up there that I've got to cross. Let's go do it. Just now, climbing up that crazy cliff to the top of Old Spec, I ran in to flip-flop. Oh man, how cool is that? Of all places too. We took a picture. I'll include it after this video clip. Man, I bet I ran into them, I don't know, 5 or 6 times down in Virginia. I think that's mostly where I saw them. Maybe some in Tennessee too. They were kind of doing this funny flip-flop thing where they would use a car and drive and then hike to their car and then get shuttled and then hike to their car. And so I got to see them a lot as I was passing through. And oh, it was so good to see them. They, when the weather got real hot back a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was a month ago, gosh, more than a month ago, they decided to just jump up to Katahdin and finish the hike Sobo. And so that's what they were doing. They were coming back from Katahdin and plan on finishing at Pine Grove Furnace State Park. That was great seeing them. I always liked to see them as I was hiking. I have been wondering what had happened to them. Well, the best view spot was probably about a half-mile back when I was climbing up the cliff. Maybe you got a good view of it from the selfie I took with Flip and Flop. Of course, this is a pretty good shot here too. Maybe it's just as good that Miss Tie-Dye doesn't see the cliff that I climbed to get up here. Three and a half miles down to Gafton Notch, and then 2 miles up to the Baldpate Lean-To, I believe is the name of it. This has been a long downhill hike. 3.5 miles, and I got about 1.5 miles to go. And my legs are starting to feel a little like jello. It's been a big day for me. Mahoosuc Notch, Mahoosuc Arm, the cliffs of Old Spec. Whew. Starting to feel a little tired. I'm almost to the Baldpate Lean-To. In Maine, for some reason, they're called lean-tos, not shelters. I don't know why. So let me tell you about, I got to the bottom of the big hill there at Grafton Notch, and there was a couple there doing trail magic, and they had homemade stuffed cookies and moxie and an apple. And oh, let me tell you what, I so needed that. I was starting to really feel like I was on empty. And it tasted so good to eat an apple and have 2 homemade cookies, and they were these big cookies with these cream fillings. One had marshmallow and one had peanut butter. And they were so good. And now I'm climbing, it's 2.3 miles up the Baldpate Mountain. And I'm about 0.2 from the shelter. And I'm tired. It was a big day. It's time to close out day 167. And it was a big day. Mahoosuc Notch, Mahoosuc Arm, the trail up the cliffs to Old Spec, big day. I tell you, it started out a lot easier because a friend of mine, a trail maintenance friend of mine, let me know about a 10 site there right before you go into Mahoosuc Notch. And I don't have permission to mention their name, so I won't, but that made a big difference today. I started very fresh, and that helped. That made a big difference today. Really enjoyed going through the notch. It was fun. There were some really kind of hairy parts, some stretches you had to make that, you know, I'm not, I don't have super long legs, so it was a kind of a leap of faith a couple times. And then the arm was, boy, that was a heart thumper. And there were some scary spots in there going up that. So it was the hardest mile, and then the steepest mile. Dang. And then the hike up to Old Spec. Whew. There were some scary parts there, really scary parts. And I'm glad I don't have to do that again. Hopefully there won't be many more like that. But it was a 10-mile day. Oh, I got to the bottom of the, I guess Mahoosuc Mountain. No. Big Old Spec. I got to the bottom of Old Spec, and there was a couple there with Trail Magic, and they had these homemade stuffed cookies, and I got to an apple, and I got to try a Moxie soft drink for the first time, and it was pretty good. And let me tell you what, those cookies came in there. They were these big old cookies with peanut butter filling and marshmallow filling, and it came at a really good time because I was feeling tired and needing a pick me up, and I really appreciate that trail maintenance or the trail magic there. And then I'm staying at Baldpate lean-to. They're called lean-tos in Maine. I don't know why. Mile 1933. So big day. Feeling pretty good about my day, even though it was just 10 miles. I checked off some big items. Take care. Good night.